Hey there, good evening. My name's Kent Larson, and I'm just putting together a really quick video about vector-borne illness and how tragic it can be. But first off, before I go any further, what I'm about to give you are my personal experiences. There's things I have learned since 2002, since I found that I was infected and then inflicted by a horrible situation caused by multiple vectors. In other words, fleas, insects, ticks, bed bugs, all these different things that they have, mosquitoes. They've also shown that transmit vector-borne illness. So it's very complicated. I'm not going to get into it all, and I'm not a doctor. So do not take what I'm about to tell you to be medical advice. It's my experience, and you can also research this stuff on the internet, and it's there, folks. It's real. But first off, I'm also going to tell you a little bit about myself, okay? This is my wife and my youngest daughter. This is my wife wearing her wedding dress way back 27.5 years ago, and my daughter wearing it at her wedding 2 years ago. So, yeah, they wore the same wedding dress. This is my oldest daughter with my youngest daughter. These are the 365 Bedtime Stories book that we read to our kids every night. We're not divorced. We're happily married in our family. My wife with our two girls. Yeah, beautiful. And also, I want to show you this, a little validity on who I am. I am a co-author of a book called You Will Overcome. My story is right behind this, right behind Rush Limbaugh's story in here. It's on page 116. Ken Blanchard, Oprah Winfrey. There are other stories of other people in this book. So that said, I just want you to know a little bit about myself, my family, how much I love and care for them. I'm going to tell you this. Vector-borne illness is horrible. It's right now, it's in a huge controversy that's been going on for decades. And you were probably wondering, why is there so much conflicting interest or information out there about it? Let me just say this. It's a little known fact that way back in 1981, a bill was passed by Congress that if you identified a genetic portion of a bacterium or whatever from that point on, you could actually get the rights to it, okay? And guess what the first bacteria was that was discovered after that? Yes, it's called spirochete. It's named after William Burgdorferi, so it's Borrelia burgdorferi. It is the cause of Lyme disease. At that time, people were tearing the genetic portions of it apart, and they were getting patents on it. So they owned just about everything that had to deal with it. So there's a lot of money and greed behind a lot of misinformation that's out there. Now let's fast forward to today. There are two conflicting ways to handle Lyme disease, Babesia, Bartonella, parvovirus, leptospirosis, HHV6. Let's go on and on. These are all different things, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, ehrlichiosis, anaplasmosis, they can get from one bite. There's one school of thought. It's a chronic inflammatory reaction. We can't do anything about it. So after we treat it with less antibiotics than we do a typical case of acne, we're going to say it doesn't exist. We don't care about their symptoms. We don't care that they were getting better and then all of a sudden they got worse after we took them on the antibiotics. We're just not going to listen to it. And then there's the side over here. Evidence-based clinical response by patients getting better due to aggressive treatment that differs from over here. Hundreds of studies back this up over here. But this over here is, in my opinion, controlled by power and greed. And good old boy networks that just don't want to give in to the fact that they've been wrong. In fact, the CDC changed what their definition was for people coming down with Lyme disease, let alone all the other diseases that come with a vector, from what they were getting reported as just under 30,000 to 300,000 per year. That's a tenfold jump. They're also right now predicting that's probably closer to 1 million, if not higher, per year of people becoming infected. It is a persistent infection if you don't get it right away. If you treat it heavy duty, from everything I've seen on this side and from what I've experienced, you can stop it. Now for me, I lost everything. I was very successful. And I ended up waking up paralyzed from the neck on down from peripheral paralysis. It It was a horrible experience, and then I had all kinds of other things come down my pipe. And I wish it on no one. It took me 6 years to get back on my feet. And then in the meantime, we found out that both of my girls had Lyme disease and Bartonella and Babesiosis. One of them is doing very well, the other one not. Now let me tell you the difference why that happened. One of them was aggressive and didn't care about public opinion and all the other negative stuff that's going on out there right now. The other one did. Lied about taking medication, hid symptoms, and allowed themselves to get caught up in the, hey, just pray to God. It's all in your head. You can wish yourself through it. And this one's fine. And this one struggles today. So now let's talk about testing. That's another thing. It is a spirochete that burrows inside you. And the type of tests that they give you are very inaccurate. It's not a blood-borne disease. Also, it's very hard to find the antibodies that actually your body produces to fight off disease. Why? Because in some cases, most cases, people that suspect Lyme disease get tested too early before the body has a time to make an immune response. On the other hand, Lyme disease and co-infections actually suppress your immune system so much that if you've been chronically ill for a long enough period of time, your body is not producing antibodies to kill the bacteria that's ravaging through your body. Now, a lot of people go, it's just in your knees, it's just in your joints. No, no, no. First thing it does is infect the skin. Then it immediately goes to the nervous system and the heart. Now, what happens in the brain? Brain controls everything. Your adrenal glands, your thyroid, your heart, your kidney. I mean, because the nervous system, right? Your hypothalamus, your pituitary gland. Those all get infected and affected through an inflammatory response as the body tries to fight this. Now, that's the other thing. It's an inflammatory response that lasts for about a week, and then it goes away. Because during that week, that cycle, that's when the bacteria actually grow. Okay? So then it comes out and the body's fighting it more. But you're still going to have symptoms for the next 3 weeks because of all the trash and the garbage and the toxins in your body and the parts that is infected. Imagine a frayed wire going over your house. Every time there's a storm or hard weather, it gets more frayed and more frayed and more frayed as time goes on, but you're still getting power, right? Eventually, it's going to cause an issue. So there's a lot of other things I could go over right now, but try lyminfo.org or whatever, and please, 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 don't make the mistake of cornering your loved one, your friend, your spouse, your neighbor, your coworker, your pastor, whoever it is, your favorite rock star, your favorite actor, that has a bad case of vector-borne illness. Why? It's not in their head. It's real. Love you. God bless you. This can't remember. Nothing was medical advice. This is things I've learned through the years and is out there right now. www.ilads.org, ilads.org.